Welcome, everyone. Let's meet on our mat, and I'm excited to share this practice today. Okay, so welcome. Excited to share this practice today. It's on the Yi spirit. And for those of you who were aware, I was taking a training with Stephanie Nosko Yoga. And I am sharing this practice because it's one that really resonates with me right now. Many of you know that I have been preparing for my wedding. It's coming up in a week. And this Yi spirit is very much a practice that I have been doing, or this practice for the Yi spirit is one that I've been doing because it has to do with overcoming worrying, overcoming overthinking, all these things that are very much a part of what's going on in my world right now. And so I wanted to share this short sequence so that you might be able to use that if you're in a situation where you need to cultivate some Yi spirit. And so let's come onto our mat and close down our eyes. Take a moment to come into this space and into our bodies. And just start by witnessing your breath. Feeling the rise and the fall of your chest, pulling that breath into the belly. Just becoming present in your space and in yourself. And as you focus and witness the breath, I'll share just a short quote by Taoist philosopher Lao Tzu. And it's from the Tao Te Ching, and it says, "What is well planted cannot be uprooted, and what is well embraced cannot slip away." So continuing to focus on the breath. And the practice that we'll share today will provide us some opportunity to connect with this Yi spirit. The quote that I shared reminds me of this diligent farmer, an aspect of the Yi that I really resonate with. It's this idea of this farmer who's dedicated and devoted and working his fields, having trust and faith in what his hard work and his efforts will bring. And so you'll see as we go through our practice today how some of those aspects may be connected. And so as we cultivate Yi spirit, we cultivate our intention and our openness, this clearing of our mind. And the Yi spirit is connected with the yin organ of the spleen, the yang organ of the stomach. And it always makes sense to me that these are connected because when I think of Yi or the associated emotions, they are associated with worry and overthinking. And so I think of sick to your stomach, or a stomach in knots, or your head just constantly having that clutter or the overthinking that continuously gets the cycles of the mind going. And so speaking of the stomach, let's go on to our stomach. Let's bring ourselves onto our stomach, just resting onto our stomach. The hands can come under the chin or the cheek. Just really allowing yourself to come present into this space. Bring your awareness back to the breath. This Yi spirit needs to be cultivated anytime we've been doing too much of anything. I'm taking a bolster or a block under the head and just releasing my hands here. I'm going to take my hands into fists. I'm just going to gently lift each side and take a fist to either side of the abdomen, just on either side of the belly button. In traditional Chinese medicine, this is known as stomach 25. I'm just going to lay down onto that fist on either side of the belly button and start to bring my awareness and my breath to that area. When we speak of the stomach and the spleen and the yi spirit, we're thinking of digestion. We're thinking of digestion not only in the physical form of our foods, but in digesting aspects of life. And with the hands at stomach 25 here, we're connected to this celestial pivot point, this point that connects the upper and the lower, this point that connects the upper spirits to the lower and the heavens to the underworld, so to speak. Allowing yourself to follow the breath. Resting onto the hands and bringing the awareness to that stomach 25. Using the breath as that one pointed focus, allowing the mind to steady, thoughts to come and go. I feel this relaxation within the body, bringing myself to this present moment. Gently leaning to the side, releasing each fist. Bring the hands just beside the shoulders, just ahead. Pressing into the hands, lifting the chest. Bring yourself into Sphinx. In Sphinx, we bring those shoulders or those elbows under the shoulders, the hands out front. Listening to our body and our edge. If you're feeling sensation in that low back that's uncomfortable, walk those hands away from the body. Or if you're comfortable where you are, bring those hands in front, the head held high, that chest shining proud, that heart shining forward. The energetic or spirit aspects of the yi is to sing the heart song. It's the spirit of intention. That celestial pivot point that we were working on just before helps us to connect those upper and lower spirits, as I said. Taoists speak of Kunlun Mountain, this mythical center pole of the cosmos. And that relates in us here in this posture. I think of this symbolic expression of the mountain like the spinal cord that's the center pole of our body, the center pole of our human existence, and the core of our nervous system. You can keep that head held high, or you can start to allow the head to hang. Maybe it comes to a block or a bolster. The idea with this mountain, or this idea of going down the mountain, is that we descend from the heavens all the way to the underworld. And with each spirit and organ, there's a psychic energy that animates our body and our mind. Just a moment longer here in this shape. Pressing into the hands, lifting the hips, bring those hips back, taking any movement you might like or need within your body. And we'll make our way into a wide leg child's pose. So those knees come apart. the toes together, gently lowering the body down, easing that chest towards the floor, those arms stretch out front, forehead towards the floor. Just allowing yourself to focus on the breath. Pressing into the hands, lifting the chest, bringing yourself onto your hands and knees, taking any movement you might like or need. And then sit yourself down onto your right hip. Bring your right leg forward. Bring your right shin parallel with the front of your mat. We'll bring ourselves into deer. And as we do that, we can bring that left knee to the right heel. You can just shift it back, finding the appropriate placement or alignment for your hips. And as we do this, we start to impact the sinew channels, the energy channels of the spleen coming through the abdomen, down the inner leg, into the big toe. So we impact it here on this internal and external rotation of deer. Close down the eyes. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, gently walk the hands back. Start to recline that upper body. Now finding the appropriate edge for you. Listening to your body, your edge. And once you close down the eyes, finding stillness in the body, breath, and the mind. Allow that head to hang, or perhaps reclining yourself down onto a bolster or on your arms. Finding the appropriate place for you right now. Allowing yourself 3 more breaths. And at the bottom of that 3rd breath, you can gently help that back knee forward with those hands reclined, like a windshield wiper of the legs or any movement your body might require. And then when you're ready, bringing yourself to the other side by bringing that left leg parallel with the front of your mat, a gentle flex into the foot to bring some protection or alignment into the knee. And again, on that right side, that right knee comes straight to that heel, and then shifting back to find that appropriate placement for the pelvis and the hips. Seated tall, close down the eyes, inhale, rising up. Exhale, gently reclining or resting the body back. Remembering from one side to the other, there may be differences, and that's okay. Our job here today to witness and explore, to cultivate this Yi spirit, this Yi energy, Bring those sinew channels of the spleen down the inner leg to the big toe for the stomach, through the chest and the abdomen, down the center line of the leg to the midline of the toes. Once again, creating stillness. Physical body like that mountain, still and solid. The breath is calm and steady as though it doesn't even create a ripple on a cool mountain lake. And the mind still and steady as though those thoughts are clouds just floating by. Allowing yourself 3 more breaths exactly as you are. And at the bottom of your third breath, at your own pace, gently help that right leg forward. Those legs come into a windshield wiper position, gently releasing any tension through the lower body, taking any movement you might need. And we're going to make our way down onto our back, taking a resting position onto your mat. No props are needed. Just allow those legs to splay out to the side, the arms to come to the side. Allow a moment to feel this rebound effect. Allow yourself to tune into the energies flowing within the body. This movement, we create this chi or prana flowing within. When our yi spirit is functioning fully, it helps us digest. Like I said before, helps us with the physical digestion of our food, but also our experiences in life. Bringing the knees up, the soles of the feet to the floor. Taking that right knee in towards the chest. Let that left leg stretch down. Squeeze in towards the chest. Gently taking that left arm, pulling that right knee across the body to the left side. Perhaps it comes down onto a block or a prop. That right arm splay out to the side and the head can stay in neutral alignment or it can turn to the right to further into this twist. Allow yourself to return your awareness to the breath. And the body ease and melt into this twist. It makes sense that these twists would help with our yi spirit cultivation because they help with digestion. Allow yourself 3 more breaths right here. At the bottom of that third breath, gently help that knee back up. Bring that right leg down to the floor. Stretch those legs down below if that feels good, or you can keep both knees up and just allow the body to rest between sides. Let that right leg stretch down below. Bring that left knee in towards the chest, giving it a squeeze. Holding for a moment. Releasing that left arm, bringing that right arm to the left knee and pulling it across the body towards the right. Again, remembering from side to side, there might be differences, and that's okay. We're here to witness today, to explore. That left arm stretches out to the side, the head in neutral alignment, or it can turn to the left, further into your twist. We think of this mountain, this idea of the alchemical change or transition that happens as we move down the mountain. We start at the top of the heavens, or the top of the mountain closest to the heavens, shining the light of awareness, this light of truth into our heart. And then as we proceed down the mountain, we come to the hun, the liver, that helps with compassion and kindness to bring the vision and dreams, the message of the heart. We continue down the mountain to the yi, bringing us from these heavenly spirits down to this earthly plane. We come to the earth, the soil, this yin matrix that holds the seeds of the light of the Shen. And it becomes this yi spirit that cultivates and fosters this growth, this potential, like the farmer sowing its seeds. And allowing yourself 3 more breaths right here. At the bottom of your third breath, gently help that knee back up to center, bringing your back down onto your mat. One more opportunity to allow the body to rest in this rebound effect. Those legs can come down straight below. Take a moment here to tune in to the energies flowing within the body. We've come to our final shape in this sequence, and that's our Shavasana. And you're welcome to take it exactly as you are right here, or perhaps you'd like a bolster under the knees, maybe a pillow under the head. I'm just going to sit up to share a short reading while you take your Shavasana. I'm going to share from Laurie Eve Deschar's Five Spirits book. And the reading starts on Darling Island. Comormans stand on the black rocks, drying their ragged wings. The rocks are piled up, fragmented abstractions against the pale sky. On the other side of the cove, stunted birches, bayberry bushes, and skeletons of dead spruce make a boundary between the beach and the impassable thicket that forms the core of the island's vegetation. Here the sea breathes in and out, covering, then uncovering the barnacles and kelp at the tide line. Between the salt spray and the incessant ocean wind, only the hardiest plants survive. So I'm surprised each time I look down and notice the sea lavender, the way it stands so precisely between the jagged rocks, its head covered in a veil of purple flowers and flanked by golden honeybees. Rooted in the coarse sand and clay, turning its leathery leaves upward to the light, it is undeterred by the weather or the waves and devoted wholeheartedly to its purpose. Persevering with single-minded determination year after year, it continues to bring forth its unique form into the wild, wind-swept light. This faithful, steadfast, purposeful application of the creative force towards a single goal, the bringing forth of the spirit of the infinite and the glorious diversity of form, is Yi, the spirit of intention. Starting to bring some awareness back into your room, back into your body. Some gentle movement through the fingers and the toes. Some rotations in through the wrists and the ankles. And maybe you'd like to stretch those arms up overhead as though you're yawning or stretching first thing in the morning. I'd like to take these final moments of your Shavasana by rolling onto your side into the fetal position. Feel free to do so now. Starting to envision in your mind's eye how you'll slowly and gently ease your way into an upright seated position. As you come upright, you're welcome to sit yourself onto a prop or onto the floor. And as we take these final moments, bringing your hands into Anjali Mudra, into prayer, we can bow our head for a moment in contemplation of this Yi spirit. This reading I shared of Laurie Deshar's reading, I chose because I'm headed to the ocean. And I'm always awed by the power and the magic of nature and the ocean, and this idea of this sea lavender, this form that's against the odds, against the elements, still persevering and determined to share its purpose or to live its existence. It reminds me of that farmer. It reminds me of this Yi spirit and this idea that we all have this heart's song to sing and that we all have this experience to live. But it's through our daily actions, it's through our choices and our determination, our dedication, our devotion, that our intention comes forth. So as we go forward, and as I go forward through this next week, using this practice, this Yi spirit, to remind myself to calm the mind, to clear the clutter of the mind, and to start to tune in and connect to that heart song, to be able to share my intention and devotion. I hope you have the same. I hope this practice brings you a sense of peace and calm, and that it reminds you of the message that you're meant to share, the gifts you're meant to bring. And I hope to be able to digest all of the spirits a little bit more to be able to share more with you going forward. Thank you so much for joining today. Wishing you well. Peace and blessings. Thank you. Take care, everyone.